Good morning, and thank you for joining me. This is Amelia Rapol. Today is a special day for me. Today is the day that I ask you to help me celebrate the birth of Emerging Solutions, a Facebook group that is designated, that is kind of created with the intent to help every woman out there who has interstitial cystitis and or chronic pelvic pain syndromes. This is a special time for me because I've had this idea for a very, very long time, but we all know we're all mothers and daughters and workers and wives and etc. And we all know how our days get kind of crazy. But I finally said, okay, this is it. This is important. This is what I want to do. I want to create a group, is what I told myself. I want to create a group, a place, a space where women who are suffering from interstitial cystitis have a place where they can come together and they can then share new information. They can share stories of success, where they can share wisdom that they have, which I tell you is immense. And whether you've had this condition for a month or whether you've had this condition for years, this is the place for you. And the reason for it is that I don't need to tell you, this has been a super lonely road for many of you. A road where the medical establishment does not understand you, a place where coworkers have no idea what you're going for, what you're going through. Even family who love you and want to be there for you, it gets to a point where they're not quite sure about what this is all about. And they start kind of being sad and resentful that you cannot be there for their recitals or soccer games or go to the theater with them. This is the most lonely road I have ever encountered. I can tell you, I'm an oncologist, urological oncologist, and I have never seen the sadness, the devastation, and the loneliness in cancer as I have seen with interstitial cystitis. So now we have this opportunity and we have a place where we can finally be there for each other, and we can then help each other when we're feeling like there's no place to turn. That is the one thing I want to tell you is not true. I've been doing this for 25 or 30 years, and I can tell you every day, thank God, I do see a lot of sadness and a lot of loneliness and a lot of very, very difficult cases. But I can also tell you hundreds of stories of women and families that have actually then come out of this despair and into a road where it's been to the perfect health. I will even venture to tell you that a lot of women have said, oh my, I never thought I could say this, but I can tell you now that interstitial cystitis is the best thing that ever happened to me. The first time I heard that, it freaked me out. I am like, are you kidding me? And then as I went more into it and as I start talking to more and more success people, I can tell you that that is so true. It will never feel that way to you when you're in the middle of it and in the middle of despair. But I can tell you that sometime when you get out of it, it's going to be very much the case. So let me tell you a little bit more about Emerging Solutions. So as we just said, this is a group that is mainly for women that are suffering from interstitial cystitis and or because a lot of times this is not in isolation, but it has other chronic pelvic pain syndromes associated with it. Notice that I always have a tough time saying the second part, but I don't know. It's the truth. So what is it all about? Is a new support group, and it is a place where we're going to be ruthless. We're going to be going back, looking at the history of IC. We're going to go back and basically break up every myth that has been there. That is a lot of misinformation. And I can tell you one quick story that is kind of sad. I trained in a very good program where it was taught in urology, and it was taught on every field except when we got to the discussions about female urology and more importantly about the chronic pelvic pain syndromes. They would say, you don't need to know that much about it. It's all in their head. It didn't take me long to realize this was not in their head. But if I was going through what they were going through, it would soon be in my head. But How could I survive the alienation, the pain, the constant fear of not finding a bathroom in time, the constant fear of having an embarrassing moment where, I would have, my pants wet, etc. I can honestly tell you that I would say, if I was not affected and if I was not crazy before this ever happened, trust me when I tell you, I would be into it. And what I have noticed through the years is most of the women going through this are not crazy. And even after years of suffering, are not crazy. They're amazing women with incredible courage who continue to fight because they have something like their families to live for. So, yes. Let's break up all those crazy, silly myths and let's truly find what's real. And let's take that forward as an aid to this recovery. What else is going on with this group? I tell you one thing. I came from an herbalist family and I was blessed by that. And then I went into what I sometimes jokingly said to the dark side. And it's a joke because I think we need both sides. There's times when, we need 100 sides. But whatever it takes nowadays, I can tell you that there's so many good fields and so many good medicine. Let's take osteopathy, cranial work, Western medicine can be beneficial at the right timing. Traditional medicines from other countries, other old traditions, Eastern, acupuncture, herbs, energy medicine. How do we work with this at every level? Homeopathy, functional medicine, German biological medicine, and let's not forget spirit medicine. So yes, guess what? We're going to go through every freaking tradition and we're going to try to find whatever it takes to help each one of you. And remember, I wish I had a magic bullet and I could say, oh yeah, we have the perfect answer for each one of you. But you and I know that is not true. And we will not start this relationship with lies. But I can tell you though, that every day I talk to women who have found that one way or two or three in combination that has changed their lives. I can tell you one thing that is super exciting to me, and I think it's funny that the birth of this group is on February 15th. February 14th, what do we have? Happy Valentine's Day all over the world. Guess what? It is not a happy Valentine's Day for a lot of the women that will be in this group. It is not today, but I'm praying that it will be in the future. So let me tell you a quick little story that I think it's beautiful and it fills my heart with hope and I don't know, and love. I recently got a picture from one of our patients that had come from Newfoundland, and beautiful woman in her prime, just gorgeous. The kind of woman that you look at, perfect hair, perfect eyes, perfect body. But guess what? She had not been able to be intimate for many, many years. And finally, she sent me this picture, which was just unbelievable. She was in a boat in the Mediterranean with a glass of wine in her hand, looking astonishing and saying, thank you. Not only am I here with my husband having a new honeymoon, but I'm also enjoying those things that I have missed for so long, like a glass of wine. As you can imagine, I can honestly tell you, she is not the exception, and I have found this to be the rule. Each journey is different for each one of you, but I promise you there is hope, and there is that proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. You can be there too. So come and join us, and stop being hijacked by these conditions, and let's move it forward. Let's start to live again. Let's go from the darkness to the light. Let's get out of that prison, going to the bathroom every 15 minutes, trying to find every bathroom in the neighborhood and free yourself from IC. And also, let's conquer it. I know it can be done because I see it happen every day. So please don't let this stop you. It has done that long enough. This is the day that we say no more. You know what? You've ruined me for these many years or these many hours or whatever. It doesn't matter. From today on, this is enough. I am taking control of my life. I am taking control of my future. And I'm going to do this. So join us and come to our Facebook group, Emerging Solutions for Chronic Pelvic Pain and Interstitial Cystitis. And let's just Let's just do this together as a big family. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining me in this little journey. Well, not little journey, this little webinar into this big journey. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you guys soon.